Ariana Grande walked into the Oscars conversation and came out looking and sounding completely different. Some people called it next-level acting commitment. Others said something about this feels off. Let's go through the whole story and let you decide for yourselves. For years, Ariana talked in old interviews about dreaming of being in Wicked, always making it clear how obsessed she was with musical theater since she was a kid. So when they announced a new Wicked movie, it wasn't exactly a shock that she landed the role of Glinda. But her commitment to the role wasn't ordinary. In multiple interviews, Ariana said she had to change the way she spoke and even the pitch of her voice to stay in character as Glinda, even off camera, so the voice would stick in her head and come out naturally during filming. As for her appearance, she said publicly that she gradually stopped getting filler and Botox starting in 2018, and that the difference people noticed was the result of years of gradual change, not something sudden. The first Wicked movie came out a year earlier, and people commented on her new look back then too, but nothing hit the way it did after Part 2 dropped. To really understand Ariana, you have to go back to where she actually became a star, Nickelodeon. In 2010, she landed the role of Cat Valentine on Victorious, which became a huge hit. But playing that character came at a cost. She had to dye her hair red every couple of weeks for years, which genuinely damaged her hair. After the show ended in 2013, Nickelodeon put her in Sam and Cat alongside Jeanette McCurdy. But behind the scenes, Jeanette later admitted in her memoir that she felt jealous of Ariana at the time, and that there was a noticeable difference in how the two of them were treated even though they were co-leads. The show ended after just 35 episodes. Around the same time, Ariana was posting singing videos on YouTube, and when Republic Records heard her voice, they signed her directly. Soon after, Scooter Braun, the same manager who discovered Justin Bieber, took over managing her career. In 2013, her debut album, Yours Truly, hit #1 on the Billboard charts, and that same album included her first collaboration with rapper Mac Miller on the song, The Way, a collaboration that turned out to be the start of a much longer story than anyone expected at the time. But before we get to that, we have to talk about one of Ariana's biggest scandals. In July 2015, security cameras caught Ariana at a donut shop licking donuts on display, and afterwards saying, "I hate Americans. I hate America." The video went viral almost instantly, and public opinion turned against her hard. She apologized first with a tweet, but that wasn't enough, so she recorded a full apology video explaining herself. Over time, the controversy faded and people moved on, but the image it left behind stuck around for a while. 2 years later, she faced the hardest moment of her career. In May 2017, during her concert in Manchester, a suicide bombing killed 22 people and injured more than 100. The attack deeply affected Ariana emotionally, to the point where she paused her tour. But weeks later, she returned to Manchester and organized the One Love Manchester benefit concert, raising millions of dollars for victims and their families, a moment many saw as a turning point in how the public viewed her. Alongside all of this, her love life was constantly in the spotlight. She dated a string of high-profile names over the years: Mac Miller, Big Sean, Ricky Alvarez, and later Pete Davidson shortly after splitting from Mac Miller. But in September 2018, Mac Miller died at his home in Los Angeles at age 26 from an accidental overdose. The news hit Ariana hard, and she paused her public activities for a while afterward. In the middle of everything happening publicly, Ariana was also going through an inner shift. At one point in her life, she opened up about exploring Kabbalah, a spiritual and philosophical tradition rooted in Jewish mysticism, which became well known in Hollywood through figures like Madonna in the late 90s and early 2000s. Ariana has spoken about it in multiple interviews as part of her personal spiritual journey, without going into much detail about her actual practice. And that brings us back to where we started. After Wicked, Part 2, news broke that Ariana had split from her husband Dalton Gomez and was now linked to Ethan Slater, one of her Wicked co-stars, who was also in a relationship, married, with a young child, when filming began. The timing of both relationships ending around the same time reignited the online debate and brought back an old question fans have asked for years. Every time Ariana takes on a new role, does something about her seem to fundamentally change? So, from Nickelodeon to global pop star to a potential Oscar contender in Wicked, Ariana has gone through a lot of transformations over 15 years. Here's the question I want to hear your take on. Do you see this latest change as just next-level commitment to a role, or does it feel like something deeper is going on? Let me know in the comments.